So yeah, they sure are happy to give us more and more stuff. Oh, hey there, whale. How's it going? The shadows in the cavern suddenly lengthen and swallow you. When your eyes adjust to the darkness, you find yourself in the midst of what must be another vision. You're surrounded by mists, the ground feels springy under your feet, and you imagine that as soon as you take a step, the soil behind you will erase all trace of your passage. As if on cue, the mists before you clear just enough for you to take a couple of steps forward. You do, and the fog closes behind you. You continue for several minutes in this manner, one step at a time, never seeing more than the ground in front of you. Eventually, rays of light cut through the haze, and you find yourself facing a canyon wall. Pelagina's head violently snaps to one side, her eyes tracking some unseen threat. She puts her hand to the base of her face, where two of her feathers have been cut short near the side of her face. Tufts of down float in the air. Something whizzes past you. Just as you turn, you catch another whir of movement. Out of the mist flits a shape, small and round. You think you see another, and another. They tickle the corners of your vision. You turn back to the canyon wall. The sun shifts along its path, and what looked like a smooth rock face is the hollow of a cave. A figure steps out, its figures shifting and changing before your eyes. The figure transforms from male to female, from Olan to Almor, its bones lengthening and its fur receding into flesh. The only detail that remains constant is the smooth, eyeless face. The whizzing, rushing shapes from the mist converge on the figure, and they form a spinning cloud. You realize they're eyes.
Your very past is a mystery. You bury it deep, reinventing yourself with each new path. You unravel a thread, Watcher. One you have lost and discovered over generations. And following it to its end has only brought you back to the beginning.
Have I been here before? Whale giggles, a strangely modulated sound that rises and falls as the god shifts from one form to another. Your search for answers to your path has led you to another mystery, one grander still. Another riddling god. Fantastic. The form of the question prepares the seeker for the answer, Watcher. And while you seek to repair your past, Woodica seeks to restore her future.
A nebula of souls, blind and brimming with potential. The answer to Woodica's question and the beginning of yours. What would you do with them?
I've learned from Gallowayne, Magran, and Abaddon that I can use them to fortify other souls in the Deerwood.
A mightier quarry for a more glorious battle. Yet the hunter takes the rack of antlers and the string of fangs for the memory of hunting the beast, tracking it through the wilds and grappling with it at last. Even the gods require fresh mysteries.
So he wants the souls to just vanish. Do not consign the souls to the fate of some god's choosing. You have found them, now scatter them across existence, their destination known to neither god nor mortal. Let them be lost again, new answers to new riddles. You say I shouldn't let a god decide their fate, but it seems you're asking me to do just that.
But something must be done, and hurling them from the machinery of other schemes is the truest course of action.
Farewell,
That
whale.
is a word for endings, and this is but a crossroads. Even I do not know what you would choose.
I made a bargain. I'm going to keep the bargain. It's not that difficult. Okay. Let's activate this. And then another fight? Yep.
Good shot. How bad?
Okay. Sap a Drake. Everyone kill the Drake.
That didn't work.
Oh, hey there, buddy. Didn't realize I'd inadvertently charmed you. Alright, where are we? What are we doing? So this... A lone segment of the bridge rises over the ruins of an ancient city. Looks stable enough, but the wide gap leaves little room for error. And I make it, but get injured. Camping supplies, spellwood amulet. So I guess we're going to keep doing that. Gonna get injured repeatedly, and then we're gonna nap. I guess I could have like used the scroll to boost athletics to help with that. Okay, do we want to check out over there? Do we want to check out what's on the other side of the door? I suspect the other side of the door is the final piece. So we're gonna explore and then head back. Sup, Shades? You want to fall over there? You attack that. You attack that. And you can fall over and you can attack that.
That's not very helpful.
Lead the way.
Okay, done. Grab the things, grab the other things. Okay. There's that, so then I guess we check what's down here. Yeah, that's definitely where we need to go. And what's over here? Quick check. Nothing. You can't even go onto the stairs. So this is just like signs of the ruined city beneath. Angwithan architecture is really funky. I like that it's very distinct from all of the other architecture you see in the game. It's like they were different. They had an advanced civilization long before most of the others, and they just had a different artistic and architectural flair. Like circles. They really like circles. Okay. So yeah, there's one path. Who would build like this? Game designers. Because it's far more interesting for this. Are you ready?
Ready to take the oath, to spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen. I am trusting you to remain loyal to the gods in this.
Uh-huh.
If you do not, you will have greater powers than me to answer to. But you will answer to me as well.
Broad belt of power? What's that do? Most of these others are things I've encountered before, but I don't recognize broad belt of power. I also don't know where it is in this list of various bits and pieces. Oh, there. +2 might, +2 resolve. Stalker and Fast Draw is probably... no, definitely not. Go for it.
I wouldn't ask this. Were there any other choice?
Sure you wouldn't. And there is a machine spinning away. I don't think we need to sneak. Oh, look at that. Sparks of lightning.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was. Oceanus. They have held off many would-be invaders.
Yeah, that was the betrayal.
You are ready to give a confession?
I am ready to hear one from you.
Hey, Thaos! Got a present for you. Total wow. That was a pretty huge amount of XP. This is all Adra. And I guess this is actually a structure we go inside? So this is just exposition? Oh no, here we go, here's Thaos. You've come to a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with Adra trimmed with copper. At the far end, a great pillar of Adra pierces the floor from below like a ragged spike, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they are all questions. At the base of the pillar stands Thaos, a look of concern on his face as he notes your approach. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all others, spinning madly in your mind, but you don't yet ask it. You need some admission from him first, some hint of veracity of your suspicions.
You are far from your post, Inquisitor. What brings you here?
All these statues, who are they of?
They are monuments to Woodika's greatest servants among my people. I hope to join them myself one day, but my work is not yet complete.
What is this place?
We are in a sanctum holy to Woodika. There are others like it in service to the other gods. I come here often to pray for her counsel, and in this space I may be assured that she hears me.
And the machine behind you, what does it do?
It has many uses, but its purpose is to bring structure to the chaos that surrounds it.
Was Iovara telling the truth?
That woman sought only to destroy the foundations of peace and civility that my people sacrificed everything to build.
Was the entire Inquisition based on a lie?
The Inquisition was based on the need to cut the flesh from a rotting wound.
You are shaking now. You've lost all patience for tact. No more evasions. You have to know. Everything you believed, everything you've done for the gods. Did you lie to me when you said that the gods could end suffering? Thaos says nothing. Are there no gods?
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked? Something men can turn to in their darkest moments when their days seem only like bridges from one tragedy to the next. Our gods are all these things.
With Thaos's every word, you find yourself losing control of a boiling cauldron of rage and doubt and fear and hopelessness until you can take it no more. Are there no gods?
We are in a sacred place within earshot of the gods themselves. This is not the time. You've been through much these past few months. You will return home and you will rest. When you feel you have recovered, you may rejoin us at the trials. The Inquisition is far from over, and I will have need of you. There are many who continue to spread the lies of the apostate. The Inquisition will not end until we have pronounced judgment on all of them.
His eyes linger on you, and there is no mistaking the threat behind it. Your rage shrinks at an image of an iron wheel in your mind, monolithic and caked with the dried blood of thousands. You do not ask your question again. And suddenly he's behind us.
How did you find it?
I didn't. It was Lady Webb.
Another in a string of acts of petty defiance. For all her knowledge, she always preferred spite over reason.
She loved you.
Then she should have obeyed. I ask one thing of all my followers. She was incapable. A waste of rare talent and intellect.
Her talent and intellect were too great for her to live as your servant.
What of your cohorts, then? They have followed you to their deaths. Is it loyalty that brings them here? Or is it, as my agents suggest, that they have no direction of their own?
Duran stares at Thaos with a beast's snarl. Thaos watches him calmly.
You built a weapon that delivered exactly as promised.
I served my goddess as you did yours.
Yet the other builders were slain, 11 of a dozen. Why not you? Were you somehow different? Redeemable in your god's sight?
Whatever desire I had to be redeemed in her eyes was weakness, purged by the Watcher's sight.
Or was it merely that your goddess wanted you dead as well, and your delusions of importance prevented you from seeing the obvious?
A whore's beguiling charms, nothing more. But the spell's broke now, Thaos. The trial's over. I know friend from foe, and I've come here now to see a foe repaid.
You were able to destroy a god because another god wished it. Without her hand to guide you, you could not strike at a god any more than you could strike the sky. You are impotent, and not just from the pox. I understand your Duke's bells gave you a mission.
Their orders do not absolve me of my greater responsibility to the safety and well-being of the Republics.
Yet you disobeyed. Something you already have a reputation for. They will know, of course. If it had been for a worthy cause, they might have forgiven you. But I don't see them pursuing animancy after seeing what it's done here. They trusted you, and you disappointed, as you always have. And you will again be disowned.
The parents scold, but the children are safe. Whether animancy research continues in the Republics or not, they will survive. For now, that's enough. In any case, I wouldn't be so smug about my fate, Thaos. I imagine Woodica responds to disappointment much more severely than even my dukes.
State your name and purpose, young acolyte.
My name belonged to the gods and my hand to their service. No more.
You serve none but yourself. Without contact with your order, you can have no higher purpose. Only the base concerns of the flesh. You have cast yourself from our ranks.
And I should have done it years before. I'd rather live in uncertainty than servitude.
And that uncertainty would lead you where it leads everyone. To doubt, to emptiness, to the many cruelties inspired by disbelief. You will have to forgive your Grandmaster for remaining skeptical of his initiate's choices.
I like that he and Iovara each address every one of your companions.
You are far from home, dwarf.
I knew my hunt would send me a long way from Masuk. It was a challenge I was glad to undertake for my village.
A journey, then? It must be of some import to take you so far and to last so long.
Anything worth doing comes at great cost.
So it was worth it, then, to tell a dying beast of things it neither understood nor had memory of. And the lost gift-bearer. You have been many things in this life, all because you fear what you really are.
I checked. The Ingwithans didn't make you a god. You want to tell me you don't have any regrets of your own?
There is no greater calling than the spread and protection of our faith. I regret nothing in service of that cause.
Haven't been looking hard enough.
Or perhaps I have merely witnessed the alternative. You are here because you are lost. The gods cannot reach everyone, I'm afraid. May you fare better in your next lives.
He directs his gaze at you.
I gather you have had your soul awakened. Why else would you shadow my footsteps like some stray mongrel? You think I have something to offer you, but our business was concluded long ago.
What do you know of our business?
You think your abilities only flow in one direction. That isn't how it works, I'm afraid. Not for me. For all that you saw of my soul in the sanitarium, I saw as much of yours.
Our business will conclude when you've told me all I wish to know.
I answered your questions once. That your soul is not fit to accept the answers is of little concern to me. I lied to no one. Not to you, not to anyone. The gods are real. They are everything we need them to be, and the world is better for it.
You convinced me once that spreading your false face would end atrocities, and yet you are here committing your own.
The spread of our faith ended many such atrocities.
Really?
I do what I must to ensure it continues to do so. The heart of this country has skipped a beat, nothing more. I have done far worse. I plunged the peaceful kingdom of Thaos into civil war. I slew the monarch of Desantio, whose people never knew hardship under his rule, and replaced him with a cruel despot to ruin.
How are you improving things?
When plague arrived at the great city of Arborensis, I saw to it that the cure did not. They piled their dead outside the city in heaps that rose above their walls.
Nothing can justify these atrocities.
That's where you are mistaken. There was a time, back when your soul was still a shapeless mist, when the world believed only in false gods. Thousands of them. Gods that told them to take slaves. Gods that told them to make war upon their neighbors and devour the slain. Gods that told them to burn their children alive and cover themselves in the ashes as a sign of their faith. But all that changed when they learned of the true gods. Our gods. All those misshapen, bestial instincts melted beneath the radiance of our god's majesty. You could see it in their eyes. That dull emptiness replaced with the glimmer of a kindled spark.
Teaching them there were no gods would have achieved the same purpose.
And replaced it with one far worse. Have you imagined this existence? The one the apostate would have created. We are not all so virtuous as she.
Seems that you've kind of been doing that anyway, so I don't think that's quite true.
But more than that, it would be a hollow existence. All mysteries forever unanswered. All purposes constructed from meaninglessness. No endings to bring closure.
Yeah, because without gods, there's no way of getting at any certainty. Fuck off.
Spirits to dust.
You underestimate people.
For all my years, I have seen exactly what they are capable of. What the apostate asked was beyond any man. All I have seen, the millennia of experience. I will not be dissuaded from this course.
You're blind to think. No, you're blind to think yours is the only way. You're controlled by your own doubts.
We are all controlled by our own doubts. Better that we should be relieved of them. With your soul and thousands of others, I will see this world purged of its suffering. Hear me, Woodica. Your servant calls for aid.
Okay. I'm assuming there's meant to be a cutscene now. Hate being made prone. Okay. I suggest we kill Thaos. Okay, first. Hey buddy. Oh wait, no. Just do this. You guys attack that. You guys, I'll attack him. You, this, he is immune to paralyzation, petrification, stunned. Okay, so just big old sack of hit points. I guess we'll try that. Yeah, you guys all do that. You're not immune to prone. No, you are immune. No, you're very resistant. Actually, you're not immune to many of these other things. Okay, good. Then maybe we change that for this. And you also attack this. Yep, good. Hey, sap him. Good. Hobble him. Blind him. Kill him. Stab him. Hobble him. You know what? You mark him. Wound him. Wound him again. Said, mark him. Wound him. And wound him again. Get up. Good. Die. Die and be forgotten. Also knock him over. At your feet rests the body of Thaos, hollow, the dense wrinkles shaped by the silent shouldering of an eternal burden now smoothed across his color-drained face. His soul remains still for a moment, defenseless, its energy expended in defeat. It lies sprawled across his body like a death shroud.
That's the servant down, and the mistress still to go. A good start, worthy of being built upon.
After journeying for lifetimes, I can't imagine his failure, knowing it was all for nothing.
In his own way, Thaos must have truly believed he was caring for the people of Eora, protecting them from themselves. A shame his soul won't have a chance to reflect.
Not entirely sure it won't, to be honest.
He spent his lives, more than any of us will ever know. For what? Binding the world to a lie. Could a man like that ever be redeemed?
Can't help but feel sorry for him. To live so long without a fresh start, with no chance to wonder what's around the corner.
Explore his soul. With a deep breath, you plunge into Thaos' soul, and where in Brackenbury it had been a maze of narrow corridors and dead ends, now it's expansive and borderless, its walls crumbling into heaps like the ruins of Angwith as you pass through them. You travel for what seems like ages, rushing to a known destination, a memory you glimpsed once before. At last you see it, no more than the pinprick of light at the end of a long tunnel, expanding slowly at first, then quickly as you near. You come out in the room you are standing in now, but it is new and pristine and filled with people, thousands of them, all turned towards the great Adra pillar and the machine that encases it. Thaos stands at the machine, and yet you are one with him now. You look out at the crowd, at the faces of shriveled old men and cherub-cheeked little girls, at mothers bouncing infants to quiet them, and fathers clasping at their children's restless hands, and watching you with somber acceptance. A woman with tears in her eyes gives you a small nod. You turn back toward the machine, your breaths constricted beneath the weight of unwanted knowledge, preparing yourself to settle out alone on a journey without end. You close your eyes and open them again to find the machine still in front of you, beckoning. You take your place in front of it and place your hands upon a large mechanical disc at the base of the great crystal column and speak a single word. Giant rings creak to life, building speed, setting arrays of carved draconic mouths aglow and sending tremors throughout the platform beneath you. The entire room shakes now with the force of the accelerating machine, all sound drowned out by its deep, deafening thrum. Brilliant tendrils of light arc outward from the pillar in all directions, and you look over your shoulder to see them engulfing the crowd, burning them brightly like hot iron. One by one the tendrils disappear, leaving ashen effigies where people once stood, many of them disintegrating into grey heaps under the stress of the tremors. You look above to the Erdruk pillar, and a glowing spherical mass has begun to coalesce atop the column where the arcs converge. It grows and pulses, translucent and bulbous, like some immense chrysalis, suspended in slow rotation, as though it were being spun from the arcs of light. When the last arc disappears, the spectral mass hangs a moment, no longer rotating. So bright you must shield your eyes with an outstretched hand, and it seems to you as though it's looking at you. You bow your head in acknowledgement, and look back up to see it melt into the pillar like warm candle wax. The pillar flares with a flash of light, bright as the sun itself, then fades to darkness. The machine slows down to an abrupt halt, and when the last echo of its grinding cogs has passed, the chamber is still, and you are alone. From all sides reality begins to bleed in through the memory, and you find yourself in your own skin once more, looking down on Thaos' lifeless body. You sense a listlessness to Thaos' soul, an overwhelming fatigue that hinders its immediate escape and makes it vulnerable to manipulation. You feel as though your victory has given you some kind of hold over it. You can do it with it as you please. Okay, so let's see. We can destroy all memories and then send it back to the wheel. We can just tear his soul apart. We can just send him back to the cycle to be reborn and kind of start anew. I think we can destroy... I think we're going to destroy all the memories contained within. Your memory makes you a slave to your own past. Perhaps it cannot be undone, but it can be forgotten. It shall trouble neither of us any longer.
No.
You can't allow this... Yeah.
He will have no reminders. He will not remember the message we wrote on his fragmented bones and carved into his flesh. The lesson we burned into his soul.
You were kinder to that man than I would have been.
A questionable act. Without his memories, there will be nothing of Thaos left to appreciate your mercy.
And a man like Thaos should have a second chance. Well, that gives me hope for the rest of us.
You return to the landscape of Thaos' memory, to the vast terrain of deceptions and crippling despair. You can feel your agency in this world now, an ability to reshape the whims of your dominant will. You focus on a vision of pure emptiness, and your will becomes a swirling vortex around you, sweeping through the landscape, bearing away moments and lifetimes, like some apocalyptic bivouac that would tear away the essence of the planet itself. The storm builds until the very crust of the world peels from the fabric of the soul that anchored it, and it's borne off into the sky until it's too distant to observe. The last thing you see is a white void, boundless in all directions, unfettered by the shackles of experience and doubt. In the stillness that follows, a single word echoes through your mind, a word you spoke when you were one with Thaos in an ancient memory. You realize it's the word that activates the machine. Goodbye, Thaos.